what I want to do to my opponent is this. I want to try out a beautiful trap against them in the Gansberg variation, starting with a move pawn to e4. If pawn to e5, I'm gonna play the normal knight to f3, so that after knight c6, I may transpose this into the 4 knights game like this. Try this opening. You will notice that when you develop your first 2 knights in the opening stage, your opponent is more likely to copy you by this time as well. So that's why I like playing the 4 knights. Now the move I'm dreaming of is pawn to a3. I did a whole video about this amazing variation, which I believe has popped up in the card above, but let me just show you one little trap in the Gansberg variation or the Gunsberg variation, whichever word. So if black plays the top played move bishop c5, the plan is to go knight takes e5. I just want to sacrifice my knight so that if knight takes, I can go pawn to d4, trying to force black to give up his bishop pair very early in the opening stage, because in this position, bishop takes d4 is the only correct move. But I don't know why most people like playing bishop d6, allowing white to go pawn to f4. By the way, you can also take if you want, but f4 is more matured. If knight g6, you go pawn to e5. Anyways, black is still gonna lose a piece here. If bishop e7, you can simply ignore this and add more salt to the wound. The thing is, you're gonna walk away with a piece, whether black likes it or not. So this is the idea that I want to try against any of my opponents that I'm going to challenge. By the way, Magnus Carlsen also tried this opening when he was 11 years old in an OTB tournament. Though his opponent didn't play bishop c5, let me just show you what Carlsen's opponent did. Instead of bishop c5, his opponent, who I believe was Samsa, played pawn to g6. Then Magnus still sacrificed his knight on e5. What's wrong with that dude? God, this is just a free knight. But anyways, Magnus had another idea of expanding his center pawns like this, and there's little that black could have done, by the way. For example, if queen e7, pinning the pawn to the king, I believe Magnus was going to play queen e2 and pinning the pawn. And if something like knight h5 by black, I believe pawn to g4 was going to be played. And in case of knight g7, I believe Magnus was just going to develop his minor piece as if nothing is happening. What is this? Okay, the thing is, you are down a piece, but Stockfish thinks you have all the pieces plus 2 extra pawns if you turn on the engine. For example, if pawn to d6 for some reason, you have a lot of things to do, one of which is knight e4. If pawn takes, you can even go bishop g5, I mean attacking this queen. The whole idea is to make black's position cramped. But I'm not saying this is exactly what is going to happen in the game that I plan to play. Guess my opponent is going to play something else. So let's just see how that game can go. Right. So I'm playing against a FIDE master. 2388 by rating. Which opening am I going to play? Can I try the bishop's opening? Oh, let me play my favorite 4 knights game. I know for sure that if I play knight c3, my opponent is going to play the 2 knights defense. That will transpose the game back to the 4 knights game. And this is one thing I like about this opening, because at least the first 5 moves of the game are very much predictable. So knight f6 is what I expect. Oh, bishop c5 is considered not to be a good move, and here is why. Knight sacrifice. So, just in case you didn't know the reasoning behind the 4 knights game, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thou shalt not play bishop c5 against the 4 knights or the 3 knights opening. So the idea is to go d4. And theory has it, black has to play bishop d6. I don't understand this move. Knight c4 is just a blunder, because it just hangs 2 pieces. I mean, why sacrificing 2 of your pieces? This is a FIDE master, by the way. So you guys can see that even strong players or chess masters do blunders. So my opponent just blundered a piece in the opening stage. And now the game is very much... Now I don't even know why my opponent is still playing, because this game is already over. Anyway, let me just continue playing for content's sake. Who knows, maybe someone might even subscribe along the way. I guess these are the last kicks of a dying horse. There's no any bad publicity, by the way. And let me just cast a shot to play pawn to f3, defend my e4 pawn. Oh, did I say pawn to f3? I meant to say queen d3, sorry. So the theme of this video should be, even chess masters do blunder. You are not alone. Oh no, I'm just joking, you are. Oh, you are the only one who blunders on earth. No, I'm just joking, you're not. My opponent blundered a piece in the opening stage, which is very bad. I think that was back on move 5 if I'm not mistaken, and I should mention to say it wasn't intentional. Trust me, I know when somebody doesn't know the opening theory. So now I think he just felt, ashamed of resigning early, just trying to give it a shot, hoping for the worst. Maybe I would blunder along the way just like they did, but nope. So here I can just take, this is a free pawn, why not taking? That's what I thought. And bishop e2. I don't want to lose my bishop pair. I could have taken the knight. But anyways. Okay, now what is this? So, how do these people even get their titles? Who qualifies them? It's either my opponent is now playing out of frustration, knowing that they lost a piece in the opening stage. That's why they've started doing this nonsense. But the truth is, my opponent didn't know the opening theory. I know this for sure because of how they responded back on move 4. Just didn't know the opening theory of the 4 knights game. So what they have started doing now is just trying to, play a sacrificial game, giving up everything, since there is nothing else to play for. If you think about it, this is exactly what my opponent is doing, playing out of frustration, just giving up all the pieces. Yeah, I understand, but there's no point to do this. No need to do this anyways. If I want, I can take. Okay, with queen a5, my opponent wants to give me a check. So the best I can do here is to protect my e4 pawn while attacking the g5 pawn. Not to mention that I am just gonna take. Yeah, so my opponent just wants to end the game quickly. Let me help them to do that. I'm just gonna checkmate them on h7, I guess, with my queen. Let's see. That's a check, dude. You need to move. I will still publish this on YouTube so that other people may learn from this. Give a check. Pop, pop, pop. How do I checkmate this fella as quickly as I can? Do they still have this? Nope. Let me just do this. The plan is just to checkmate them. Enough of this nonsense. Pardon me for the bad language, but that's the idea. This is bad sportsmanship, for real. If king g8, I'm still going to mate on h7 with my queen. At this point, there is nothing much that my opponent can do. Maybe sacrificing their rook, but I'm just going to take. And they will have to sacrifice their queen as well, but I'm just going to take with my knight. Yeah, so this is just a sacrificial game. Pop, mate. So it was clear in the opening stage that my opponent just didn't know the opening theory of the 4 knights game. For them to blunder a piece in 4 moves, it means they just didn't know the theory in the 4 knights game. And so in the end, they started making useless moves because they were frustrated.